Hello, y'all. So I'm here today to give my trans perspective on the Zaya Wade situation. Been a minute since I've had the freedom to actually do this type of video. Seems like I've been stuck on Bobby! Bobby, I love you! Honey, Bobby, I love you purr for the longest. It's good to get back to what I'm used to getting to. Give y'all a little bit of backstory, because y'all know that's how we do it over here at DivaWuan. We always got to give y'all a life update on what's going on with DivaWuan. So, the 17th will mark 2 months that this hoe has been out of work yet again. She's been out of work going on 4 months this year. She went back for a quick spell and then got gone again. Now she's trying to get back out at Pilgrims, right? For y'all to know the backstory. Now, she's so obsessed with trying to get to this job that she was bitching and complaining about when she was there. Now, they done denied her application not once, not twice. Now she going back out there. As if her presence is going to darn going mean a thing to them at this point in the game. Especially with new management and everything else that's not dealing with the old school bull skill. But, with that being said, I put in a job for her simultaneously at Butterball. They done called her back and she darn gonna holding off. Even though equal distance, same pay. Once again, an addict just don't think rationally. I don't know why I try to rationalize the actions of an addict, honey. But why do I bring up her in this? It actually ties into the Zaya Wade situation on transphobia in the black community, especially from the black so-called mothers who ain't never been a mother in the sense of the word. And it's mighty befitting that I'm coming to y'all presented as I am today. Because that with me, I said I want to shave and put some makeup, but I said I'm going to come in the true sense of what I look like dressed down, to show y'all that not all of us is glammed up, not all of us have the privilege of darn going having parents, and this is the result of the struggle of it all. So let's get into Zaya Wade, and I'll show y'all how my situation mirrors hers in a more poverty-stricken way, child. But Zaya Wade is the daughter, the trans daughter of Dwayne Wade, the stepmama Gabrielle Union. Honey, I have not even bothered trying to get the mama's name because she really is a non-factor. It's like you haven't been in your child's life. The father got primary custody when he was in the game full time, and it's like, now, what did you do? Because in the past 50 years, honey, the courts tend to look favorably on the mother. It don't matter how much money. Back in the day, it used to be, oh, the wealthiest person can easily take the child from the poverty-stricken person or whatnot. But honey, this ain't the 18th century no more. The court systems over the past half century will favor a baby mama that is in the hood over somebody worth $300 million. If you don't believe me, look at the situations with Drake. Look at the situations with Nick Cannon. Look at the situation with all these folks who done had babies with non-celebrities, jump-offs, groupies, strippers, and somehow they still manage to command more rights than established celebrities that don't even have no records. So for you, my dear, to not even have 50-50 custody, you lost all your parental rights as the mother. It makes me have to wonder, number one, we have to question, what did you do? Or what wasn't you doing? Because we can't even bring finances into this. Because like I said, the courts don't even usually in all circumstances tend to favor the mother by default. It's extremely rare for a court system to award the father any sort of custody, let alone darn on full custodial custody. Let me make sure my lips are darn on well moisturized before I get to reading, before y'all read me up on my lips. Bitch up here want to talk about trans rights and darn on shit, lips crusty and all this, that, and the third. But Zaya Wade has gone through more criticism than a little bit. And I've seen the most come from the black community. From folks who are AARP qualified 40-some-year-old, 50-some-year-old women and dusty men up on these darn on hotep darn on platforms talking cold cash sugar honey iced tea about what the appearance of a 10, 12, 13, now 15-year-old child is doing and what their actual parents allows, including the mama, Gabrielle Union. Because guess what? The other one, you was the egg donor, boo-boo. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all, and I've even seen daytime tea times response talking about the mama should have some input. She's the mother, she gave birth. Once again, all that Christian rhetoric. Honey, number one, we are in a country that recognizes over 6,000 religions. I don't know why y'all think it's so comfortable the darn gonna inadvertently force your darn gonna religious views on somebody else and think just because you gave birth, you should automatically have the biblical darn going privilege of darn going having an input when you have not done anything to warrant said input. You ain't been to a PTA meeting. You ain't been to a bake sale. You ain't been to any extracurricular activities. You haven't even utilized any sort of visitation rights. And for the longest, there was a narrative going out that Dwayne Wade blocked her from even being able to do that. Come to find out, that was a lie. He done revealed that was a motherfucking lie. I'm trying to be careful with my words, cause honey, YouTube likes to doggone demonetize a girl over here because I cuss like a sailor. And then you know my recent uploads of everybody else, honey, they was quick to doggone put that on yellow, honey. And then Beyonce tried it. I had that 10-second clip of Beyonce's song at the end of Voice of a Ray doggone clapping back at Allen Boy, right? For the people who watch my Bobby I Love You Per videos. Honey, Beyonce, you ain't getting my money today, baby. Honey, you won't get my money until you finally drop them visuals. Until you darn going come up off them darn going Renaissance visuals, that's when you want to get my coin. When you darn going come out with the Renaissance tour the summer next year, that's when you will see me in the third row because, honey, I can't afford front row, honey. You want to give DivaWuan a discount, please give a DivaWuan a discount. But, honey, you ain't getting no more coins off of me just yet. So you trying to take my coins and I'm struggling, my car gone, that's a whole different tale. I get to that in another video. You ain't getting my coins, baby. But back to Zaya Wade. Zaya Wade actually has a supportive father, a supportive stepmama that is allowing her to be what she wants to be. And you have the mitigated gall to block the name change every time. I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode, y'all. Oh my goodness. Don't be surprised if I end up having to do that about 10 more times through this whole video. But you have the mitigated gall to try to demand that her name can't be changed. Really? On what grounds? You ain't never been there. And because you darn gonna push down, you think you can darn going command any sort of darn going parental rights. You are the egg donor. Just like we wouldn't give no leniency to a deadbeat absentee darn gone father. They ain't pay no child support. Girl, you is the dang on equivalent. Now, you ain't had to pay no money because Dwayne Wade is ultra wealthy. And the stepmama's wealthy. So you got out of darn on not having to pay child support. But you ain't even been there physically. You aren't the block that talking about, oh, you can wait till she's 18. And let me tell you why that's problematic. And daytime, tea time, co-signing it, talking about, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, and people should be understanding of what black mothers have gone through raising their child. Keyword, raising. She never raised her. From 3 years old onward, they have been in Dwayne Wade's primary custody. Sole custody. So once again, y'all trying to give this woman all these concessions. And it's like every time it comes to the trans community, the gay community, all of a sudden all these concessions is darn going, yeah, we have to afford them some concessions of, oh, we got to compromise here and there, and you know, bullshit, because even when we're grown, and that's why I'm tying myself into this. I am the exact opposite in every sort of way. Number one, we can take finances out of it because I'm a broke, doggone, poverty-stricken bitch. Number two, we can take the childhood trauma, the childhood dynamic out of it because I'm the result of waiting till I was grown. I didn't drop the bomb on the egg donor until I was 19. And somehow there was still some issues. Even to the point where she moved into my house, where I'm the sole person on the lease. Because y'all, normally when you have the parent-child dynamic in the house, is always this stigma of, oh, you freeloading off the parent. You don't never think about, well, what if the darn old child is actually financially contributing just as much? Or in my case, I was darn on the dominant person contributing the majority of the bills. The lease is in my name. Now she paid most of the rent. The rent was $500. She paid $300. I paid $200. But on the flip side, I had to pay all the cable, which was $200, and I had to pay the light bill, which averaged like $170. So I had to pay like $500 worth of bills to her darn on $300. So she paid a little bit more in rent, but I paid the mass majority of the bills. You see how that worked? And yet you think you can fix your mouth to darn and critique who I am in my house. So that goes to show that even when you wait till somebody is grown, you still have to deal with the bullshit. You even with somebody not being on hormones. Now, granted, I am on hormones, but I still get some facial hair growth. I'm doing what most trans women are scared to do. I am being fully transparent on this is what some of us look like on our non-perfect days. This is what some of us who are not of T.S. Madison level, who don't got, money just to get endless laser hair. Y'all see me get 8 sessions. That was all that I can do. This is 2 weeks worth of hair growth. Now, normally after a week, this used to be all the way full. I got to get my finances back together to get this back, the doing. But yeah, I'm on my estradiol, I'm on my darn spirulactone, my finasteride, and all that good stuff. And guess what? I am 29. I don't ask, well, hell, I don't even know the other parent because of this one. And then the dynamic of, one parent of mine is actually a millionaire from what I've heard. And from what I'm partially seeing, because he's able to support all his other darn illegitimate children. Another thing that we let slide in the darn black community, we don't never get on the darn the trifling Rolling Stone that's creating the different children and never being there, never being in the home. You let that slide. You invite the darn pedo to to Thanksgiving dinner. This is all the trifling stuff, and where we don't hear none of the Bible verses come up with actual stuff that needs to be darn brought up. You will be comfortable with having a gangbanger at your darn Thanksgiving table. You will be comfortable having the uncle who darn touched your darn adolescent darn niece at the darn dinner table. Once again, creating more of a traumatizing-ness for that child. And you keep it hush-hush in the house. You don't hold the darn pedo accountable. Y'all will give all these leniencies to actual criminals, to darn people who have touched children. But me darn living my life is all of a sudden just too much for you. And I'm grown. I don't ask nobody for no damn money. Hell, I've even been homeless because I'm too prideful to even ask for no darn money. I am a Capricorn to a T. Bitch, I would darn stomp my own way up out the roof, honey. Honey, I might have to get on these food stamps. And honey, the food stamps are damn good. I told y'all this is going to happen every time. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot to put the darn phone on airplane mode. Hell, there's the bill collector's calling right now. Zaya! Girl, you half my age, but I need to borrow about $2,000. No, not borrow. Honey, give the girl $2,000 to get these darn debts in order. See, Zaya is on the opposite end. She actually has a supportive family, something that we should be applauding. You actually have a father in the household doing something that the egg donor ain't been doing. Now, I ain't going to hold the egg donor to not being financially comfortable to, Dwayne Wade, because even if she was a basketball player, due to the patriarchal society we're in and, sponsorships and stuff, she still wouldn't be able to get nowhere near the amount that he has. The WNBA does not pay nowhere near what the NBA pays. So even if she was a celebrity, she will pale in comparison. So I'm not going to hold her up to any sort of financial responsibilities. But the fact that we now have heard that Dwayne Wade has gave you time after time after time to come to a PTA meeting, to come to the bake sales, to come to the doggone extracurricular activities, and you have yet to do any of those things. You have yet to doggone attempt. You're not even really picking up the phone call for your daughter, but you want to go as far as the block of court. You want to create a court order trying to prevent her from having a name change. Really? That's some spiteful shit. And that makes me wonder, is doggone Zaya doggone is no offense, Zaya, I'm just calling it like I'm inadvertently seeing it. It seems like the way your mama moves, that your egg donor is about like my egg donor. Is she on that booger sugar? Cause I'm still puzzled on how the mother doggone lost all rights, number one. Number two, you doggone trying to have the mitigated gall to doggone block somebody else from having to do what they want in life. And that creates resentment. And for folks who saying, oh, well, she's 15 and a half, she can wait 2 more years. Do you not know how devastating that waiting can be for a trans person? Honey, I still darn gonna mourn the fact that I really didn't have a childhood like I really wanted to. My childhood could have been completely different if I felt comfortable being who I was. Hell, I could have darn gonna caught some of these hormonal stuff earlier where I wouldn't be coming up on here as the bearded lady. Honey, I wouldn't be up on here. My voice probably wouldn't be as deep if I was able to catch stuff early on like Zaya's able to. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if she's on any sort of hormone suppressants or anything of that caliber from what we can tell thus far. But neither here nor there. It should be her decision and the active parents that are in her life. Gabrielle Union is more of a mother than that wicked darn witch will ever be. Who is you to darn demand something? And then my thing is this, y'all talking about, and more of y'all is concerned about the well-being and care and concern of the mother than the child. I was like, well, what type of bullshit is this? Because I see the halted community, the so-called conscious community, right? What grown person feels comfortable talking down upon a child and having 6, 7, 8 hour live streams? I'm like, really? And then y'all saying we pushing an agenda on people, but y'all will sit y'all motherfucking behinds up on a panel and they're going to talk about an adolescent child and what that child is doing that is not yours. Upwards for 8 hours, and it's multiple live streams. So it's like y'all have time to monetize off of the pain that you are inflicting upon somebody else's child, but we're the ones that are crooked and corrupt. Somebody wanting to live their best life and see representations of themselves on TV screens is asking for too much. But you are knowing the doggone pedo family member is not. Us aspiring to be actors, entrepreneurs, or whatnots, entertainers, that's too much. But you doggone complicit with the drug dealing cousin, is it? That's poisoning the community that you know is doggone selling fentanyl and methamphetamines and all the other doggone stuff, the booger sugars of it all. But that's not too much though. This is the stuff that the black community as a collective accepts on a daily basis. Stuff that actually keeps your communities doggone down. The communities that you are placed in that you do not even own. You don't even own the corner stores because y'all have not pulled your resources together and doggone make it so a black person can even have so much as a corner store. You have Middle Easterners come here and get a doggone corner store on your so-called block. Y'all want to have gang wars and territories that y'all condone as black people about this is my hood, this is my streets and stuff like this. Even when you become successful, we hearing about people such as Takeoff, Nipsey Hussle, and all these doggone other folks getting doggone off it, taken away from here behind doggone territories and, you know, dice games and all this bullshit. But somebody living their truth, living how they see fit, that's just too much for you. Oh, somebody's dressing a little bit too feminine for you. And then the Gen X's really gets me talking about, this that new behind stuff, honey. Oh, these children nowadays, as if y'all didn't grow up with darn gone Prince. As if y'all didn't grow up with Purple Rain, Purple. Okay, we just gonna ignore darn going Prince with the ass chaps out, with the lip gloss, the makeup, the darn going semi-perm. We're going to ignore the glittery suits of the Jackson 5, the Temptations, Psycho Funky Deli, and we just going to ignore the fact that y'all grew up in the era of darn going, and these are people that are not even of the community. I'm talking about the flamboyancy that was just accepted in the Gen X generation, but they had like the flamboyancy is a new concept amongst Gen Ys and Gen Zs. Really? Really? Y'all literally grew up with Tutti Frutti. Woo, woo, woo. Y'all literally grew up with Little Richard and everybody. And y'all want to darn on come down upon a 13-year-old child. And you shouldn't have came down upon those people either, because once again, they have the right to dress how they so-called choose. But now, as more and more as we get wrapped up in this Bible, which once again, that's a series of contradictions within itself. Black people making any sort of Bible reference nowadays, the same Bible that justified your enslavement, the same the same biblical being that allowed for slavery to be. Because y'all was saying that mess too about, God ain't going to allow his people to struggle. Y'all said in 2019 we were supposed to be lifted up and all this, that, and the third. The tides were turning. Honey, 3 years later, Vicky Dilla, ain't nothing changed. 2020 is going to be the rise of the black folk. Ain't nothing changed. Because y'all still want to believe that this person who didn't come down to rescue you from slavery, he didn't come down to rescue you from Jim Crow, he didn't come down and rescue darn going George Floyd from having a knee on his neck. He didn't come down for Sandra Bland. All of a sudden, he supposed to come down for your black behind. See, darn religion has been used for the past couple centuries to keep darn black people in the docile darn state of darn turn a blind eye and just give it over to Jesus, all this, that, and the third. Then y'all just forgot some of the other scriptures, such as faith without works is dead. You don't put into action to even darn create a change for the better in your communities. Because you want to be on bro code with the wrong folks. You don't want to snitch on the drug dealer that keeps your darn communities destabilized, and you wonder why you can't darn get no prosperous jobs in your area, and your darn state and your area is content on keeping jobs at $7.25 an hour. And the only getaway is if you go to a chicken plant like the darn egg donor of mine. It's sad that in the black community, those are our jobs that are best for us. The only thing we are subject to is go to somebody's chicken plant, go to somebody's Walmart distribution, or go in and get a job at the FedEx, or darn go and put your life on the line in somebody's army. Now, granted, y'all don't want my transformer having behind, so I'm glad. Now, I was actually against darn buying and trying to make it for us to darn because now it's like y'all might try to draft my handsome looking behind back into the army. Hell, I was like born so glad under the don't ask, don't tell. If you ask me, honey, I ain't trying to defend a damn country that inherently don't even support me. Honey, so it's like, shoot, I was low-key better with darn Clinton with that don't ask, don't tell, honey. Honey, you can definitely tell my damn tea. Because like I said, I still give more handsome some days versus pretty. And once again, as honest as I am, would you believe I still, at my age of 29, still receive bullshit, even from my egg donor? Like even this morning, the neighbor who's always seen me from a distance and slightly close up, people just be hearing my voice. They don't look at, stuff such as the lack of boobs and stuff like that. Naturally at this point in the game, I get addressed as ma'am. Especially if I have my mask on covering up all this little facial hair, honey. But even with the facial hair, My hair is genetically so thin, it's now equivalent to a woman's, hair with hydrotrutium or something. Like, I no longer have mannish hair. It looks like I'm a bearded woman of sorts. So even with the hair, I now, get addressed most of the time as female, except for the people who are intentionally wanting to be ignorant. And it's like at this point of the game, you done heard the neighbor address me naturally as Miss. I done got my groceries delivered today from Walmart. Shout out to Walmart Plus, honey. And you get a free Paramount Plus subscription with Paramount Plus. And y'all know what I had to get, honey. I had to get my signature waters, honey. Y'all know I'm known for my clear American waters, honey. But, yeah. She naturally addressed me as Miss. And both times she felt like she wanted to correct them. It's like, bitch, who is you to correct them? If I didn't correct them, that must mean, like, once again, but common sense ain't too common. Because when you are intentionally wanting to be ignorant, why do you felt the need to go behind him addressing me as if I... Because he didn't know what my relation to as the egg daughter. He was trying to inquire, was I the sister? Was I the daughter? And she wanted to reply the son. And then as she wanted to argue with me out the door as the person delivering my groceries, this whole time she addressed me as ma'am. And then she wanted to address me as, like, bitch, now you being intentional. Like, what reason was it to even address me as son? Like, who even says that naturally in conversation? Like, it would be natural if you was trying to call me or something, you would ask me by name. Who naturally addressed a child as son or daughter? Unless somebody is asking if you have children or something like that. So I let the shit slide with the neighbor. But then you intentionally address me as son, knowing that the woman was darn gonna address me as ma'am. That's that intentional bullshit. That's that darn gone subliminal darn gone discrimination that you trying to do. But see, I don't pay that motherfucking booger sugar bitch any mind. And the thing is this. This is the result of me darn going having to wait until I'm 19, and then even when I'm grown and I'm sufficient, I ain't ask you for shit. You still feel the need to darn gonna disrespect me. So for y'all that's saying that Zaya should just wait till she 18 as if this is gonna make a difference, it's not. It really ain't. Because it don't matter whether you are wealthy such as her, or if you doggone broken, struggling, trying to get yourself back stable such as me. Y'all have seen me at my high, for folks who's been here for a moment, and y'all have now seen me at my low. Y'all have now seen me trying to struggle to get back up out the darn going hole that I'm in. Because of circumstances of my environment. Dealing with clinical depression. Dealing with darn going struggling to get my treatments and stuff in because I don't have the funds like that. Can't really work in my home because of the fact that this demon wants to be up all hours of the night. She wants to darn gonna make noise and the darn gonna walls are thin as toilet paper. I can't even get my groceries in without her trying to start an argument with me. Be lucky to sneak out to even darn gonna try to donate plasma without her trying to raise my blood pressure up. My blood pressure being high conveniently disqualifying me. Hence the darn gonna CSL darn gonna story time I had to tell y'all in the last video. And somehow y'all think just 2 years difference is going to make a difference between a bigot. Once again, it don't matter no matter the financial circumstances. A bigot is a bigot. And yeah, sometimes you just can't change a bitch's spots. You can't change a wicked witch's ways. That darn gone fiend is going to ever be a fiend. When something shows you who they are, believe them. Don't try to change who they are. And people are not going to accept you no matter what. So y'all saying give it 2 years. If it was up to her, Zaya wouldn't be able to have the freedom to wear the makeup that she does, be able to have the deals. And it seemed like it's a little bit of hateration thrown in the midst, talking about, she getting these deals from Disney and all this, that, and the third. Well, hell, what darn gone parent wouldn't be darn gone glad that their child is getting deals? Now, I'll be a little bit hesitant on Disney considering the historical history of what they have done to children overall, even they own, honey. If they can darn gonna have folks, and rest in peace to Aaron Carter. He just darn gonna died a couple days ago due to years of trauma, which led him down to the road of, you know, drug use and all that other stuff. But not too many people make it out successful from Disney. I think Raven Simone is one of the very few exceptions. Raven Simone, Hilary Duff, but honey, nearly all of them. Hell, look at Orlando Brown still doggone dealing with bullshit. So I say be careful with Disney, honey. Keke Palmer's another one that managed to escape the doggone Nickelodeon Disney curse. But honey, not too many people survive. But nowadays, they cracking down on that bullshit that used to be free in the 90s. Another thing that the black community lacked on. Because you were so thirsty for the fame and living vicariously through your children that you ignored the pain and stuff that your children was enduring. But now, because she can't darn gonna get any sort of compensation at all, because honey, you such a deadbeat mother, a deadbeat egg donor, that you ain't got no rights. And they over here, you trying to throw a rock at her rate, talking about, oh well, Dwayne is darn gonna exploiting the child. I was like, now wait a minute, now it's not like darn gonna Dwayne was some one-off darn gonna basketball player. It's not like doggone Gabrielle Union, some no-name. Honey, Gabrielle Union is an icon in the black movie industry. Honey, everybody know who Gabrielle Union is. Everybody know who Dwayne Wade is. Dwayne Wade is worth damn near $200 million. What do he got to doggone exploit at this point? He got his own multi-generational wealth. So I don't know how that's going to go over in the court, that you're going to somehow try to paint the narrative that Dwayne Wade is trying to be money hungry off of Zaya Wade's doggone earnings, as if Dwayne Wade is having to depend on his daughter for anything. That's why I say the spiteful ways that she move, it comes off like a doggone booger sugar addict. And once again, how do I know? Because on the poverty level, that's what I deal with. Every time I try to doggone financially put myself in a better situation, here comes this motherfucker trying to doggone throw a monkey in the wrench. Trying to intentionally doggone do subtle shit to doggone prevent me from doggone thriving to get the hell up out of here. And it becomes the same hotel month after month, year after year, and I'm about sick and tired of it. I've been tired of it, and it's just I don't even know where to go at this point. Even down to the fact that I have a millionaire doggone father that supports all his other illegitimate children but me. And the only thing I can come up with is why you wouldn't mess with me is because of who I am. Oh, just ignore the fact that I ain't got so much as a parking. Now, I got a couple speeding tickets, but I ain't never been in any sort of serious trouble with the law. I done went to school not once but twice. I got my degree in marketing, and I'm a licensed medical esthetician. You could have easily funded my doggone business, but you funded some of your children's drug habits from what I'm hearing. And this goes to show that the black community will doggone let a lot of stuff that's actually problematic aside, but somebody living their actual truth is where you doggone put your foot down. You doggone not trying to invest in your trans daughter's aesthetics business. And I actually had a name in Fayetteville, North Carolina before these doggone, stuff that came out of nowhere, because I didn't doggone suffer because of lack of, well, I did suffer because of lack of business, but it wasn't because of my skill set. It wasn't even because of where I was working. It was because I had to suffer from natural event after natural event, and I could not bounce back from it. I graduated beauty school, and within a year, we had the worst doggone hurricane hit us in doggone documented history. We had Hurricane Matthew come down to Fayetteville. Then it was Hurricane, what was the other one? Hurricane Florence came through in 2018. Then I tried to bounce up for a third time. Then here comes the pandemic. Now, them darn gone unemployment checks did darn gonna help me come up a little bit. But once all that settled out, it's like, once again, now we had to have social distancing. Gloves is hard to come by. And once again, I had nothing to keep me afloat just long enough for me to darn gonna keep it pushing. And even in the midst of all that, for the longest, in Fayetteville, I was still at the mind of the top search results. Me as a dark-skinned black trans woman I am darn going I was darn going up there with the Renaissance, with European Wax Center, as a Lone Star darn going trans woman, doing it solo dolo. With all the chips stacked up against me, I still tried my best to persevere. But when you don't have the finances, you do not have the support, it's hard for somebody like myself to keep shit afloat. And then when you actually, and it's one thing when you just have, you know, a parent that just don't have it like that. It's like when somebody who's just content on working just entry-level jobs. Because this one right here, the egg donor, she's had so many opportunities to climb in management. But when you don't see it for yourself, to actually doggone elevate in any sort of way, she could have doggone been a manager at the hotel. She done worked 20 different hotels, got plenty of experience. She could have easily gone in as a general, as a manager. Even at the plant that she's trying so desperately to get back in, they gave you multiple opportunities to get promoted to team lead, get promoted to management, get paid $23, $24 an hour. But because you are so addicted to your drug habit, and before people say, oh well, it's a physical addiction, no it's not. Crack is mental. Alcohol is physical. I've actually seen her put in the effort, because anytime that she has to sober up for a few days, she'll not do crack just long enough to pass the drug test. Now, if it was a physical addiction, if it was actually affecting your doggone brains, because, you know, people who deal with physical addictions, you can't just shut it off. You actually need it. You need actual intervention. But crack, you actually really don't need intervention. That's a mental thing. That's a societal thing. That's the company that you keep sort of thing. And you intentionally want to be here at 54 and still want the doggone grovel at entry level. Shows where you at. So when somebody is broken, bitter, and basic, by default, they try to doggone bring you to the same level that they want you to be, that they are content to be in. I refuse to be at that. Even with me at my lowest, I refuse to settle on being a basic broke bitch. Bitch, I might be financially broken right now, but honey, you won't keep a good bitch down too long. You can't keep a good girl down, honey. So with that being said, my hats go off to doggone. Well, I ain't gonna take mine off, cause honey, unlike Zaya Wade, who got a good grade of 4C hair all throughout her head, honey, here's another thing. It's like I deal with everything, honey. I'm the trans girl that has to deal with having a egg donor as an addict, having a millionaire as a sperm donor, and on neither side, the egg donor ain't gave me no emotional support. The doggone sperm donor ain't gave me not nail bit of financial support. Ain't none. I didn't come out when I was young. I came out when I was 19. And I didn't even come out until I was as trans to them until I was well into my 20s. And they didn't ask you for a thing. And there wasn't no emotional there. And once again, how this reflects to Zaya Wade. Now, she don't have to deal with all the financial bullshit I deal with, but it's like emotional play a part as well. Because you ain't been there for none of the curricular activities. You ain't made a point to be in your child's life, but you think you have a right to actually have a say in that child's life. And once again, here goes the phone calls again. Honey, y'all cash app DivaWuan so I can get the callers to get up off my behind. Lord, no. This is probably why my blood pressure stay up. Honey, I can't even get through an hour live stream. Y'all done seen 3 times that the bill collector's trying to call up for DivaWuan, honey. I ain't got it. In the words of Tasha K, honey, I mean it in the true sense. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. And honey, the environment that I'm in puts it where I don't got it. But honey, I won't be down for too long. Because this is a lesson that shows no matter what is thrown at you, No matter how hard it gets better when you darn gonna persevere. You surround yourself with people who got your best interests at heart. Know that blood don't make you darn on family. So if you ever hear a mother trucker darn gonna try to say that oh well, I gave birth to you, this, that, and the third, and then for ignorant people that don't even understand basic science, oh, you my seed, but you the darn gonna, you the supposed to be the father. How you the darn gonna seed and you the man? But darn gone, once again, that's that patriarchal darn gone ignorant society where you throw darn going rationale out the window. And then you want to talk about something wrong with me, but you don't even understand. And you want to talk about, well, your biology, you XY, you a transformer, you a Decepticon, but you don't even know that the sperm will really be constituted as the fertilizer and not the seed. But you want to darn go toe to toe with me on biology, somebody who is actually studying to be a veterinarian. Which means for anybody who knows about veterinarians, you know people who study veterinary medicine, we have to know a lot of doggone science from chemistry, biology, anatomy, etc. You really want to go toe to toe there with me on the science of it all? But science aside, that's a whole nother video for another day. That could be a 2-hour video within itself. Let me close this on out with saying to Zaya Wade, you are extremely blessed. And you are in a position that most girls would love to be in. To have a supportive parent, period. You have not only your father. Unlike me, mine's out there supporting and gifting houses over here, gifting cars over there to all the other siblings that I have not met. And that even goes into my lack of dating. Because of the fact that I don't know how many brothers I have. I am very cognizant of, trying to avoid people who look anything similar to me. Because, once again, this is also the dynamics that the black community accepts that is problematic. It's like, I should have a right. You don't have to give me no money. That's your prerogative. I think it's morally effed up, though. It's like, honey, and it'll be karma where you might need an organ someday, and every one of those folks that you supported is not a match. But the one child that you ain't never gave shit about will be the one that darn gone will be the match. I can't donate to you anyway. Like I said, I got so many issues going on, from Crohn's disease, naturally being anemic, and anything else, to being on hormone suppressants. I don't think I would even be qualified to even donate an organ at this point in the game. But if I was, you still wouldn't get it. Never gonna get it. Ooh, pop. Honey, never gonna get it this time. Not this time, and not even in the next lifetime, baby. But yeah, Zaya Wade, you are extremely blessed to be in a position that most of us girls, I cannot say that we are in. You have the father that is in the household and is doing what your egg donor is not doing. You have Gabrielle Union picking up where your mother should have been. So you still have a motherly presence. And just because your egg donor ain't sugar honey iced tea, honey, don't be concerned with that. Just leave it be. Some people, once again, you're connected in blood only. Blood don't make you family. She might be a relative. She might be your closest relative as far as chromosomes and stuff is concerned. But that's the only thing else. She ain't never been there in the sense of which it counts. So I hope that you win the case as far as being able to get your name legally changed, get your gender marker changed or whatnot, and continue living your best life. Because once again, this is stuff that should be applauded. But instead, you have so many folks that look like you, that want to talk down upon you, that is over 3 times your age. Or some of them are old enough to be your grandparents, sitting up 60 years old, wanting to sit up and have 4-5 hour panels on how an adolescent child is living their life. Ain't harming nobody, ain't darn gonna poison the community with drugs. If y'all put half this much energy into darn going uplifting black businesses, hell, such as my darn gone business, if you would have uplifted me, honey, I could have really created a change. Because, like I said, look where I was at. I was giving European Wax Center The Renaissance, the Venetian, I was giving them the work, honey. And I was solo dolo. Could you imagine what I could be if I actually had my community supporting me? If I actually had so-called family pulling together and lifting me up. And especially when you actually have somebody that has a millionaire status. A millionaire darn on net worth. Now, that's one thing when you add Pookie and Ray Ray, they's like, well, shoot, I'm struggling 2 jobs. And, you know, my rent is about 50% of what I make. Okay, I can expect for you not to be able to splurge on an $80 skincare product. But it's like, even something as simple as you can still cash app a girl $1 towards a business. Because it's like, if 100,000 people just donated $1, that'll be enough. Because you think, because what you are doing, you can, because you're so overwhelmed with your work and this, that, and the third, that your money, you don't have it, but really you do. Because you find the money to darn gonna get them Jordans. You find the money to give to Balenciaga. Balenciaga and all of these darn business, the Yeezys of it all. Wherever they new home going to be, because honey, Yeezy done got cancer because of all them anti-Semitic comments, and that's a whole nother video within itself, child. But y'all somehow find the money for all these, that, and third. You find the money for them pack of cigarettes every day that cost $7 a pack. You find the money for that darn beer habit. You find the money for all these things, but you can't even just give $1 here and $1 there to your entrepreneur sibling, your entrepreneur child, your grandchild, your in-law or whatnots, to be able to help build up the community. And building up the community brings in more job opportunities, bring in a higher pay, and it lifts everybody up overall. Decreases the crime in the area because there are more job, because of the reason why a lot of black people do a lot of crimes is because of the environment that they're in, and that they're struggling 9 times out of 10, and they have to resort to theft. But if they was in a situation where they had the job opportunities afforded to them, it actually has proven to darn decrease crime and drastically decrease recidivism. But once again, we do not darn focus this energy into what it needs to be. You put more energy into bigotry than lifting up your community. So this is a learning lesson to not only Zaya Wade's darn egg donor, but to the black community overall. Instead of sitting down on your computers and talking smack about a child who has more net worth than your entire family, who darn has a bank account that is over 100 times that of yours on your best day, that you can win the lottery. Well, unless you hit the Powerball, feel free to do. Once again, yeah, support black businesses, honey. If you hit that Powerball for 1.9 million, just send DivaWuan a good, generous $10,000-$20,000 donation to help out the help out the 2-6, bring up the doggone environment of Fayetteville, North Carolina, honey. That's the only thing I ask. But for the most part, short of hitting the mega lottery, you ain't going to darn supersede this girl's net worth. So why is you sitting up here worried about what somebody else is doing? Focus that energy onto darn lifting up your own community. And you wouldn't be in this darn perpetual. But see, some people just thrive in misery. And because if they really had good content to talk about, honey, their channels wouldn't exist. Notice when you go to some of your folks' channels and you just scroll through it, there ain't no diversity such as DivaWuan's channel. Notice that they only thrive off of the negative. There ain't never no encouraging words. There ain't never no constructive criticism. It's always just darn talking smack, darn belittling somebody, and all this, that, and the third. And all the finger pointing. But sometimes it's not everybody else. And granted, yeah, we as black people deal with as a lot, but we sometimes are, actually a lot of the times, is our own worst enemy. Because it is just something as simple as if you would have took half that energy and did something productive with it, we as a whole would be darn better for it. Hell, if we can actually get together and put all this bigotry and stuff aside from darn on transphobia, homophobia, difference in politics, religion, and all that, honey, we wouldn't even need to argue about reparations, honey. If we was able to pull ourselves together and say, the hell with this, we can darn go, you can even do separation. Honey, affirmative, oh, y'all trying to reverse affirmative action? Well, it wasn't doing us no good anyways. Let us come over here and support our own. Let's support the HBCUs, and let's get up out y'all way over here. Y'all can have y'all little stuff, and we'll continue being over here in the cut. Let's get away from the NBA. Let's support darn on Ice Cube's darn on league that he's trying to get going on. On the college level, let's support LeVar Ball and what he got going on instead of the darn on NBA league that the contracts that the young NBA done came out with to compete with LeVar Ball. Once again, y'all know I'm not a sports girl. I'm just giving y'all a brief summary. But once again, if we was to pull ourselves back and invest in ourselves, honey, we can get up to a level where, honey, they would be begging to give us reparations. They would rather give us reparations at that point in the game versus, honey, not having us at all. Because, honey, we are the ones that is truly the backbone, the spine, and the legs of this country. We are the ones that built this country up, even down to the black people who painted the White House, constructed the White House, the black people who worked next to the agents on the railroads. It ain't nothing in this country as far as economics or anything that is concerned. Even down to the blood bank. Y'all want to discriminate about people where they live, this, that, and the third. But it was due to the invention of a black man that set up where blood transfusion is even possible. It was doggone black people who historically then came out with the concept of even what that is of beauty. I'm not going to go too deep in it. I'm not going to give y'all too much. That'll be a different video on breaking down that concept. Or that it was us that doggone even educated folks on hygiene. But y'all want to stereotype black people as roaches and hood rats and all this, that, and the third. But historically, we bathed in honey and rose petals. We knew about lactic acid within goat's milk to keep to exfoliate our skin and keep it vibrant. Meanwhile, you was living next to your own fecal matter in the dark ages. And it took the Moors to come rescue y'all's behinds. But somehow y'all the more superior folks. So sometimes on a racial level, it does be outside forces. But at the same time, when you're dealing with outside forces, why make it even harder for your fellow doggone people when you already dealing with stuff? That's what I'm trying to get at. We already know what we have to face with other folks. And historically, we have always been the ones that has done the work. You couldn't even pick your own cotton. You had to doggone transport doggone people against their will to a country. They're going to slaughter the indigenous people that was here. Then they're going to help pick the cotton and the sugar cane that you couldn't do because you couldn't be out in the sun 5 minutes without burning. And now, in this day and age where we are still oppressed in more ways than one, you want to darn going to discriminate against a fellow black person because of a difference of religion, a difference in politics, and a difference of identity? You want to make live streams on a child? A child who is more blessed from birth than your whole family legacy. Like I said, redirect that energy into half as much positivity and we can darn gonna change for the better as a whole. Like I said, if we was just to put half that energy, honey, we can see a monumental difference. And on that note, I'm going to end it there. Y'all give me y'all thoughts down below. I know we done touched on quite a bit of subjects, honey. Y'all done got a little bit of story time of my upbringing and how my transitioning was growing up and how it relates to the Zaya Wade. So y'all leave y'all thoughts on everything. What are y'all thoughts on black people overall and how they ignore everything but what they should be focusing on? How they don't darn going... I want the thoughts on, the Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Once again, for YouTube, I had to abbreviate it. But the pedos being invited to the darn going cookout, but your trans family member not. Your the drug dealer having a seat at the table, but the darn going Uncle Johnny wearing a dress is just too much. Zaya Wade being attacked by grown rusty people online for who she wanted to be, and an egg donor that was never a mother to D. So I want y'all opinions on all of that. Y'all leave it down below. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.